Something strange is happening in global pop, and almost no one is saying it out loud. A group from the Philippines is rising fast, not copying, not chasing, but building something entirely different. The biggest K-pop group in history can't ignore them anymore, not because of a bitter rivalry, but because of a far more compelling phenomenon: parallel power. SB19 is doing what only a handful of artists have ever accomplished, turning a localized, grassroots movement into a global force. Whether traditional industry gatekeepers like it or not, this changes the entire playbook of global music. Before we dive into how this seismic shift is happening, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow music lovers. Hit that notification bell too, because this story gets much deeper, and we are breaking down the biggest cultural shifts in music today. Now, let's look back at how this predictable copycat story turned into an unpredictable revolution. At the beginning, the narrative surrounding SB19 felt entirely predictable. When they first burst onto the scene, the internet rushed to label them K-pop clones, manufactured idols, or a cheap imitation of BTS. On the surface, the skeptics had their points. A rigorous Korean-style training system, jaw-droppingly synchronized choreography, polished visuals, and a performance precision rarely seen in the local Philippine scene at the time. Critics assumed they would fade away once the hype passed. What most missed, however, was the cultural shift happening underneath. SB19 never denied their K-pop influences. Instead, they absorbed them, dismantled the foreign framework, and rebuilt it through their own cultural lens. By weaving the Filipino language into global-facing tracks and embedding local identity into their storytelling, they created a sound that was rooted yet export-ready. What looked like imitation was actually evolution, and the narrative quickly flipped. In an industry where toxic rivalries drive clicks and fan wars fuel online engagement, SB19 chose a path that quietly changed the entire conversation. From the start, the members have openly acknowledged their admiration for BTS, even performing dance covers of the global icons before their own debut. This might seem like a minor detail, but strategically, it is incredibly powerful. By positioning themselves as artists shaped by BTS's monumental impact rather than competitors trying to dethrone them, SB19 removed the tension that usually fuels internet division. There are no subtle disses or attempts to rewrite history here. They respect BTS as a foundational force, transforming a potential confrontation into a story of continuation. They didn't arrive to replace the kings of K-pop. They arrived to inhabit a world that those kings helped build. To truly appreciate SB19's climb, we have to look at the stark contrast in industry machinery. The historic rise of BTS is closely tied to the massive strength of the Korean entertainment system, a highly organized, incredibly well-funded machine backed by decades of government cultural export strategies. K-pop is essentially a highly polished national project. SB19, on the other hand, emerged from the Philippines, a nation overflowing with raw musical talent, but completely lacking a centralized, global entertainment pipeline. SB19 had to work within severe limitations, and that institutional silence became the pressure that forged their identity. They didn't rise because a massive corporate machine pushed them forward. They rose by pushing against the absolute absence of one, earning global respect on a completely different level. This is where the story shifts from impressive to outright disruptive. SB19 is no longer operating under a traditional idol system because they have stepped into the ultimate position of power: self-management through their own company, 1Z Entertainment. In most entertainment structures, an artist's creative direction, image, release schedule, and personal expression are heavily filtered through corporate layers. SB19 bypassed all of that. They now control their music, their visual identity, their business rollouts, and their direct connection with fans. They have proven that a group can maintain world-class quality without relying on a centralized corporate safety net. It is a model that terrifies traditional music executives because it hints at a future where artists stop being products and start becoming platforms. We are seeing the undeniable fruits of this independence play out in the digital space. Tracks like Gento didn't explode because of traditional, expensive marketing campaigns. They went viral because they were built for the modern digital ecosystem. SB19 designs music that thrives inside the algorithm, creating highly replayable, movement-oriented tracks that invite global participation. By 2026, their digital strategy has solidified, with songs like Bazinga proving that their early viral momentum has translated into measurable, long-term global charting power on Billboard's World Digital Song Sales. They aren't just releasing songs anymore. They are creating cultural moments that the internet cannot ignore. Their ambition meets flawless execution in their latest international endeavors. A major milestone in 2026 is their collaboration with Julianne San Jose on the track, Emoji, a release strategically designed to penetrate diverse Asian markets outside the Philippines. Rather than relying on casual, surface-level features, SB19 uses these partnerships to expand their regional footprint while keeping their cultural authenticity perfectly intact. They are executing a blueprint of strategic touring and festival appearances that rivals the global expansion maps of the biggest K-pop acts, but they are doing it completely on their own terms, proving that global strategy doesn't require a pre-built system, just precision, timing, and cultural resonance. None of this would be possible without their fanbase, ATIN, whose organization and passion directly parallel the early days of BTS's army. This is not a casual group of listeners. It is a highly mobilized, fiercely loyal community that acts as SB19's organic PR machine. Operating in an era dominated by TikTok, Reels, and fast-paced algorithmic shifts, ATIN translates their deep emotional connection into tangible, measurable power. They organize streaming parties, run international voting campaigns, and flood social media feeds with user-generated content, effectively serving as the global infrastructure that SB19's independent model lacks, allowing the group to punch far above their weight on global charts. When you look at the big picture, the idea of BTS or the wider K-pop industry hating SB19 becomes completely illogical. SB19's success doesn't threaten BTS's legacy, it validates it. By achieving global prominence without discarding their cultural roots, SB19 proves that the blueprint BTS pioneered, that language is no barrier and authenticity scales, is a universal truth. They show that the path to global pop dominance is not a single, narrow lane, but a wide-open highway with multiple entry points. SB19 doesn't compete with the giants who came before them. They complement them, proving that success in the global music landscape is not a zero-sum game. Ultimately, the rise of SB19 signals a massive, historic decentralization of pop culture dominance in Asia. For decades, the narrative of Asian music export was strictly Korea-centric. SB19 has shattered that monopoly, proving that a culturally distinct, independent group from Southeast Asia can command the world stage on its own merit. The door that BTS opened is no longer singular. We are entering a pluralistic, deeply diverse era where fans are celebrating artistry from completely different cultural origins. The story is no longer about one country or one group dominating the charts. It is about a whole continent redefining its cultural footprint, and a global audience finally getting to hear the full, beautiful spectrum of Asian pop.